Eyes opening, welcoming a new day. I listen for the sounds of a teenage boy in his room, but I'm greeted with silence. Come on, hip hop. Come on, rap lyrics. Dance in my head one more time to let me know that my boy is still alive and kicking. I'm greeted with the quietness, a booming, not today quietness, a final, not ever again quietness. My boy Jordan will never be making those sounds again. Still I wake with 10 seconds of hope, 10 seconds of desperation until I realize that Jordan is gone forever. You see, Jordan was our miracle baby. My wife Lucy and I wanted to bring a gift into this world. She miscarried. She had a really difficult time conceiving. We were blessed to find a doctor to bring the joy of Jordan into this world. As a baby, Jordan loved to dance in his car seat. He danced to the tune of James Brown, Super Bad. But he always thought James was saying Superman, and his eyes would just light up. He had the biggest smile, and it would flow like the river for which he's named. As he got older, Jordan loved playing baseball. I used to talk to him about the guys of the past, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle, and Roberto Clemente. I don't know if he cared much about them, but he liked listening to his dad tell the stories. He also liked to go swimming at Jacksonville Beach. Our favorite place in Jacksonville Beach was right near the pier. And we used to play a game. We used to get near the pier and we would turn our backs to the high waves and see who the first to get knocked down by the waves. And sometimes I would get knocked down on purpose just to hear his laugh, because he would always laugh real loud whenever his father got knocked down by the waves. However, his first love was music. Unfortunately, it was that same loud music that caused him to lose his life. On November 23rd, 2012, the day after Thanksgiving, called Black Friday, Jordan and three friends were at the Gate gas station on the south side of Jacksonville. They were enjoying their holiday. They had just come from Town Center upscale mall, and he went there to see his girlfriend, Aaliyah. As they sat in the car at the Gate gas station, the driver of the car, Tommy, decided to get in and get some gum. The music was banging pretty loud. You know, when you're a teenager, 17 years old, you bang that music pretty loud. And up drove Michael Dunn, a white 46-year-old male with his fiancée. As he parked right next to Jordan's car, his car began to shake a little. He looked out the window and saw three black kids in the car playing rap music. Turned to his companion and said, "I hate that thug music." You see, within 20 seconds in Michael Dunn's mind, because these black kids were playing rap music, they became thugs. These were actually typical teenagers. They were not thugs. My son had asked me a few weeks before that, could I show him how to tie a tie, because he wanted to take his girlfriend Aaliyah to a fancy restaurant. And I showed him how to tie a tie. He was a junior in high school, didn't do drugs, didn't drink, and was never arrested. Yet he was called a thug. As Michael Dunn's girlfriend got out the car to get some wine, Michael Dunn turned and rolled down his window, and he hollered at the kids, "Turn down that music." The kids were startled, they complied. Jordan, from the back seat, decided to reach up and turn the music back up. At this, Michael Dunn was irritated. And one fatal decision that Michael Dunn made would cost him his freedom and also cost my son his life. As Tommy was coming out of the store to get into the car, Michael Dunn began arguing with Jordan. They were going back and forth. And Michael Dunn gave him a few F you this, and Jordan gave him a little F you that, which I'm not very proud of. But within 20 seconds, they were ready, as the driver got in the car, to pull away. Michael Dunn, in his racist mind, could not wait 20 seconds for these kids to drive away. They would be gone. But he used this time to go ahead and decide to go into his glove compartment, pull out his gun, unholster it, pull a slide back, and turn around to the kids and say, "You're not going to talk to me that way." And initially shoot 6 bullets into a car full of kids. Panicked, the kids backed the car up and drove a few yards away as Michael Dunn ran out to the back of his car, got into a police stance, and shot 4 more bullets into a car full of kids, trying to kill every kid in that car. Michael Dunn's girlfriend got out of the store, jumped in his car, he jumped back in his car, and they sped away without once calling 911. As the kids saw Michael Dunn leave, they backed up into the gas station because they saw that Jordan was hit twice. The boys got out the car and they looked at Jordan as he was choking on his own blood, and they were horrified to see that Jordan died in the arms of his best friend, Leland. Meanwhile, Michael Dunn and his fiancée were at a nearby hotel, pouring a rum and coke, ordering pizza, and then decided to walk their dog. See, they had no value for the bodies of these kids, and I call them domestic terrorists, because in this nation, domestic terrorists, they cause harm to other people based solely on the color of their skin. Race fuels how some white Americans feel about black Americans in this country. A prime example was in November 29th, 2018, in Hoover, Alabama. There was a shooting in a shopping mall, and a hero named Emantic Bradford Jr. decided to take the shoppers to safety. He had his own gun by his side. Yet when the police arrived, they saw a black man with a gun and shot him dead. In their view, seeing a black man with a gun was threatening, and for them, it was good guys versus bad guys. But when they found out that this man was a hero, it actually became good guys versus good guy. The first trial for Michael Dunn resulted in attempted murder charges for each and every kid in there. Also shooting into a car that is occupied. He was facing 70 years in prison. But the jury was on an emotional roller coaster to figure out whether he was right to shoot and kill my son, Jordan Davis. See, Michael Dunn said there was a shotgun in the car and it was pointed at him, even though there was not. His fiancée even said that there were no weapons mentioned in their conversation all the way home. Michael Dunn also said that I feared for my life, even though he was the only one with a gun. The jury was mixed up because in your self-defense statute, there's stand your ground, which means that if someone feared for their life, they can cause another bodily harm. They couldn't decide on that charge number 1, and it came back as a mistrial. Even though Michael Dunn was facing 70 years in prison, me and Jordan's mother, we wanted the state of Florida to say that Michael Dunn was guilty for the shooting and the killing of Jordan Davis. And we vowed to get justice for Jordan. February 2014, we were asked to come to the Capitol in Tallahassee. A bill was being put forth by Representative Alan Williams, repealing Stand Your Ground. We were asked to testify between the Florida Criminal Conduct Subcommittee. We testified. And the gun manufacturers, they brought out the big guns. The NRA, they brought out the big guns. They brought out Marion Hammer, who was the first female president of the NRA. They also brought out Representative Dennis Baxley, who's now a state senator, to testify on behalf of the gun manufacturers and NRA. And of course, many of the subcommittee get their campaign contributions from the gun manufacturers and the NRA. So there was a defeat against integrity, and also they defeated the bill 11-2. On the second trial, it took 8 months before the second trial, and it took a toll on my spirit. I became an outspoken advocate against Stand Your Ground. According to the Tampa Bay Times 5-year survey, if a white shooter shoots and kills a black person, they stand a much higher chance to get immunity from Stand Your Ground than if a black person kills a white person. See, Stand Your Ground allows two antagonists to stand there, if they both have guns, to shoot at each other with no duty to retreat. They could stand there and fire off as many rounds as they want. Just think about the innocent bystanders. If you and your family are coming out of a movie theater or coming from a park, and you were there with your children or your grandchildren, your grandson or your granddaughters, and a stray bullet hits your family member, do you realize on the Stand Your Ground you have no recourse? That you're considered collateral damage, and the death of your loved one goes unpunished in a criminal court and also in a civil court. That's how insidious Stand Your Ground is. By the second trial, the jury had had enough, and they convicted Michael Dunn of first-degree murder within hours. That was the first time in about 17 months that I smiled, and I believe that Jordan smiled also. The jury said that Michael Dunn did not fear for his life, and an imaginary fear would not give you the right to take action and kill someone. They also said he didn't dial 911 and try to escape. I always felt that Michael Dunn actually convicted himself because of the actions that he took after shooting into a car full of kids. Had he just shot into a car full of kids, put the gun on his lap, called 911, and waited for the police to arrive, I truly believe in my heart he would have been walking the grounds today. And that chills me. This country has never resolved the psychological damage that was caused by slavery. There's still deep-rooted hatred between the races in this country. We have made a lot of progress through enlightenment and education, but there are still laws that are racially divided. That when they make the laws of this country, it's not equal for all in America, the beautiful. These thoughts are running through my mind as I wake from my slumber. Why does this country look at black people as being criminal, when all the statistics show that we're not more criminal than anybody else? We have the movies and the TV shows that always depict us as being criminals or drug dealers or prostitutes. When you look at your shows, whether they're on TV or the movie, we're always depicted as that. Whenever they need someone to stand in for that criminal, they look at the color of our skin. This gives fuel to the domestic terrorists out there that want to do harm, and it makes it more acceptable for them to do harm. And then they hide behind stand your ground to protect them. Michael Dunn thought stand your ground would protect him. But Michael Brown was surely wrong. Stand your ground would have never protected Michael Dunn, not from me. You see, my first option was in the criminal court system to get justice, but I always had a second option. And I know my second option would have compromised my freedom, but I always had that second option. As a father, they'll tell you to protect your family, to seek justice for your family. I was born in Harlem, New York, and I grew up around strong men who protected not only their family, but their neighborhoods. I was taught to take up for the people that couldn't protect themselves. And that's why I stand here today as the founder and the CEO of the Jordan Davis Foundation. We offer scholarships to high school graduates going to college, and we provide financial assistance to the disadvantaged youth of our nation and also around the world. I'm still an advocate for these families that don't get justice in the court system. I still fight for them. I want them to look at me and Jordan's mother and see about the 17-month fight we had and see that we went to every motion in court for 17 months. Every single hearing in court for 17 months, we were there. And take that same passion that we have and have the same resolve and continue to stand up for their sons and their daughters. I'm Jordan's father. I'm Jordan's dad. I stand up for Jordan. Who will you stand up for? Thank you.